It's one of the country's biggest Talkfests, and this weekend it's Christchurch's turn for TEDx. One speaker is here to discuss the Canterbury rebuild, its progress and how leaders and citizens can work more effectively together.
It's his first trip to Christchurch and to New Zealand, in fact, taking part in the TEDx conference at the Isaac Theatre Royal. Being here for less than 24 hours, he's already embraced the central city vibe.
Everywhere you go, you hear cranes and jackhammers and machinery and the rest, and just that very physical sensation of this is a place with energy. This is a place where people have this feeling of excitement about reimagining and rebuilding.
Liu has an outstanding CV. He worked at the White House as a speechwriter for Bill Clinton, later taking up a deputy domestic policy role. He was also appointed by President Barack Obama recently on the board for National and Community Service, but ultimately he leads his own non-governmental organisation.
All our work is about teaching the art of power in civic life and really democratizing understanding of how power operates and how people get things done in a community.
He urges Canterburyans to make their voices heard in an environment where most of the city is rebuilding from scratch.
We've walked around Central City and just bumped into random people, and it's not just a message that I'm bringing here from the United States. Actually, quite frankly, it's a message we're hearing from people. Baristas and people on the street are just talking about decisions and whether they like this public art or not that public art, whether they like the way this is being constructed or reconstructed or not. And so I think it's in the air right now in this city, people recognizing that they have both the opportunity and the responsibility to have a say.
April next year will see Sarah close its doors to be replaced by a new joint council and Crown organisation designed to have more input from a local level as the rebuild continues its transition back to the Christchurch City Council in around 5 years' time.
Obviously, in Christchurch, since the earthquake, that is in some ways the central question. Who decides? How do you make a decision? How do you collectively imagine and then build a new city? People aren't born knowing how to make decisions like this. This is about a matter of learning, in a sense, literacy in how power operates. I think it's always a complicated mix. You have to have some central authority, like Sarah, that is able to harness and coordinate a lot of the energy and the activity, and at the same time, particularly in a free society, frankly, it's super important that everyday citizens feel like they have a say and that they're being heard and that their preferences and choices are being reflected in the process that results out of that central body.
He says the delays like the anchor projects and other plans can take time, a normal process in most democratic societies.
I think it's normal in normal politics, quote unquote, for people to feel frustrated and to give up on the challenges of making government and policymakers respond to you. And this is not a normal situation. 4 years past a massive, devastating earthquake, it can be very frustrating that things aren't happening either instantly or the way you might like them as a citizen.
But he has some advice.
To stick with it. The only way this city gets rebuilt in a way that reflects the will of all the people is if all the people stay engaged. Checking out is not checking out. Checking out is deliberately handing over voice and power and authority to people whose interests and preferences may be completely inimical to your own.
He hopes to explore more of the South Island before he jets back to the US in 10 days' time. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.